Hi guys, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, I've got an article here and it says UK climate finance proposal names XRPL as infrastructure for renewable investment pilot. Okay, very interesting. So I've got the information here and I just want to quickly go through this with you. So I am going to add a quick caveat before we do get started. So this was proposed by Dr. Chris Cormack and he submitted it to the UK Parliament's Environmental Audit Committee. So just to let you know, this is a submission that forms part of the broader review of HM Treasury's climate finance strategy. So I just got to quickly just point out that this is a proposal. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is something that's definitely going to go ahead, but it has been something that has been proposed to the government. The reason why I am showing you this is because what I want to just show you is what basically the proposal states. And two, to show you that although this is a proposal, so there is no guarantees that, this will definitely go ahead, it shows you what people are thinking and it shows you that XRP is still being positioned and proposed as the preferable network. So it just shows you that XRP is still being looked at by many as one of the better choice networks when it comes to this type of utility. So, okay, I'm going to go through just some of the points here that's been put in the proposal so you can see exactly why this will be beneficial for XRP and for obviously the government to utilize XRP. So this is directly from the article. So, while the proposal broadly discusses distributed ledger technology, it specifically highlights XRP and the XRP ledger as a preferred network for a potential pilot program involving institutional investors and regulated financial institutions. Under the proposal, XRPL would not drive the financial innovation itself. Instead, it would serve as an operational layer for data integrity and transparency. Specifically, XRPL would function as a transparent and time-stamped record-keeping system throughout the CLO lifecycle. The blockchain would maintain issuance records and investor entitlements. It would also store trigger evidence and process settlement instructions. Furthermore, XRPL would document how issuers deploy proceeds into renewable energy projects. During issuance, XRPL would function as a tokenized register of ownership. As the instrument evolves, it will also record trigger events and preserve an auditable history of transactions and investor rights. Okay, and just one other thing I want to go through. Meanwhile, the proposal does not position XRPL as a replacement for traditional financial systems. Instead, banks, regulators, custodians, and compliance bodies would continue to manage core responsibilities. These institutions will still handle KYC and AML checks, legal agreements, custody services, and regulatory oversight. Meanwhile, XRPL would act as a supporting infrastructure layer that improves transparency and efficiency. The submission further clarifies that XRPL should be treated as a regulated financial markets infrastructure rather than a substitute for securities law or prudential frameworks. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where XRP can just shine. Right, like at the end of the day, I can completely understand why they would have chosen XRP for this, because at the end of the day, when it's coming to like record management and leaving an audit trail, you're going to want something that's cheap and fast. Absolutely, obviously. And at the end of the day, what this is with like putting it on the XRP, it's immutable, right? So once that information is on there, it cannot be tampered with, it can't be amended or anything like that. So this is the type of thing where putting stuff on blockchain, yes, it's absolutely, it's ideal. It's the better way to do things. And that's why you can see everybody, looking to move on chain. Like that's why we're seeing now, cryptos being fully embraced. And it will be a thing where crypto will be a part of the future because the technology, it's the next level. It's the next step up. It's the next integration into the new era. So, XRP being the main, proposed network for this, to me, just speaks volumes. And also what I like here is how it says that the XRPL won't be a replacement for traditional financial systems. And the reason why I say that is because, look, what I think we've all got to understand here is that, like, when people keep talking about XRP, like replacing Swift and stuff like that, it's not going to replace Swift. It's definitely going to be an alternative, 100%. But I can't say that it's going to replace Swift. I think, like, it's going to be a thing where Swift will always have its base. And XRP is an alternative there for people who want to use XRP, right? And this is, once again, an example of that. Like it's saying here, they're not treating it as a replacement. No, like the banks are still going to be like the main custodians, etc. and it's still going to be the banks who are doing like the KYC and AML checks and all that kind of stuff. So this is more just the infrastructure. It's like an aid for the banks and stuff to use, like the institutions to use, rather than like a replacement. And to me, I would rather that, because like I don't know if they can win against the banks, because the banks, they're incumbents, right? Like they're just embedded in our society, in our world. Like, look, a lot of people want to talk about how, you know, banks will just go and, you know, be made obsolete. And don't get me wrong, I do think smaller banks will go away, but I do think the bigger banks won't go anywhere, because, like, look, you've got to understand this. If banks were to go tomorrow, we're in a world of problems. Like, a lot of people just think, oh yeah, you know, it's great, crypto takes over and stuff like that. Like, you've got to understand what that would mean for the world if like banks were to fall apart. Like, it wouldn't be good. So in all honesty, like, I don't root for the end of banks. I'm not like a huge supporter of banks by any means or anything like that, but I'm not someone who's like here to be, you know, like let just crypto take over and stuff like that, because I understand the broader impacts of what that would be, and I know what that would look like if that was to happen. So I'm definitely not rooting for that. But I do think that like crypto is a great alternative, and this is where, you know, crypto doesn't have to be the replacement. It can be a tool that the banks use, and that's still good. That's still powerful, because the banks are then using it. Like, you've got these big institutions and banks using the technology. That's still going to be massive. So that's still a big thing, right? So to me, I would be happy with that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be complaining with that at all. So to me, I like that it's saying that, because it's not a competition thing. Because think about it now, like, you've got the Clarity Act going through, and what's the big issue that's happening right now? The banks don't want, you know, these crypto exchanges, etc., to earn yield. Like, the banks are fighting against crypto, and like, it is looking like they are going to get their way with some of the bill. Like, they are looking like they are going to turn over us getting a yield on stablecoins, which, you know, like, before we could just do what we wanted. Like, there was no restrictions on what we wanted to do. Like, now it's looking like there's going to be things put in place where there are restrictions. So this is what I mean. Like, the banks are, you know, they are working in terms of the way they're lobbying against some of this stuff. So it's one of those things where, like, we have got to just accept that the banks are here to stay for the long term. Like, the bigger banks, you know, the real big banks, like, they're not going anywhere. So it's like better to work together than to just keep trying to compete. That's the way I see it anyway, personally. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. But as I say, this isn't something that's a guarantee that is going to happen. But just reading what like their proposition in XRP as, I think it's a good idea. Like, this isn't like one of these, you know, hype type of proposals where it's like, oh, this is unrealistic, this is ridiculous. No, like, this is like, it's a well thought out idea. I can actually see how XRP would serve well in this type of use case, and how it would serve well for the banks and the governments to utilize it. So, you know, I think this is definitely something that could happen. Like, we know that there are pilots and stuff going on right now with XRP and, you know, institutions, that there's currently things going on. So this isn't like a big jump anymore. This isn't like, oh, that's a big wild conspiracy theory. No, like, the banks and the government may literally just take this on and say, yeah, that sounds good, let's give it a go, because there's lots of pilots going on at the moment with crypto technology. XRP has been piloted with a lot of things, and I've worked with the government as well. Like, they're doing the digital euro and things like that, and the digital pound, and Ripple are on the board to try and, you know, see this kind of stuff through, and the XRP ledger is being piloted for these types of use cases. So this isn't like a wild theory or anything like that, or a wild proposal. Like, it's pretty grounded in reality, to be honest with you. So you never know, this could happen. You know, we're at a point now where this could actually happen. So I thought I'd share this with you, because you never know. And once again, it shows you that XRP was the network of choice here. You know, like, Chris could have, you know, he could have put anything forward. He didn't have to put XRP, but the fact that that was the choice, it just shows you, right? It just shows you that XRP clearly, even to the, you know, the well-informed, the knowledgeable, they're feeling like this is the best network to use. So to me, that speaks volumes. So I thought I'd share this with you, but let's see how it goes. I'll keep an eye on this. If I get any updates, I'll be sure to let you know. Alright, I'll leave it there. If you did like this video, please remember to like, comment and subscribe so you can be updated for future XRP content. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be alerted on when I do drop a new video. Thank you very much for watching this, and I'll see you all on the next one.